Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In our latest team selection video, I share my multiple dilemmas going into game week 4, whether that be using chips, transfers, taking a hit, long-term plans, and so on. And FPL Affairs Weasel also shares his free hit draft for game week 4. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and if you ring that bell, you should get notifications each time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Kayo Saka. That is a diamond of a goal.
Greetings everybody to the third, fourth, I've lost count how many videos we've recorded in a row now at the same point, and with the FPL Affairs Swan doing his differential game of the week one a bit late. I'm surprised we haven't we're more organised and spread it out over the international break. But anyway, I am waffling. So welcome to our team selection video where we've got my transfer decisions to follow on from which players we thought everyone should consider bringing in at the end of last episode shows. So that's with me, Matt, aka the FPL Affairs Magpie, and joining me, as with the last two videos and more, Paul, the FPL Affairs Weasel, who is going to let us know what he is having planned. But first, we'll move on to mine before his free hit. And actually, I'm being rude. Hello, once again.
Hello, everyone. So, yeah, I'm excited to share my free hit plans with you all. But yeah, hopefully it wasn't a too knee-jerky reaction after hearing the Forest manager change, which made me do it on Tuesday morning. That my original plans were just to get in a Palace defender this week. But we'll discuss that after your team.
Yeah, so although the slide says transfers and team selection, we did transfers in the last video, so we'll just move on to team selection. And on screen, you should see my existing situation, my bus team for this week. So yeah, after the horrible start of yeah, each week, current rank is 7.0 million, which just makes me want to cry each week. But hopefully with a good week, I should get a rise. Although this week, as I'm unlikely to play a chip, I think I would be surprised if it actually is another red arrow this week. But lots of people are wildcarding or playing a free hit, and wildcarding, I did a knee jerk playing of it game week 4 last season, which didn't make a huge amount of difference at that time. So I'm reluctant to use it in the fourth week for the second year in a row. And plus, actually, a lot of players that I've got, I'm quite content with their fixtures and are doing all right. Defense are looking sound, and yeah, and I could get around some of these with just transfers. And as for free hit, I thought, well, again, maybe change one defender, or I'd at least do a different Palace defender. But I thought for a free hit, I want to be looking at a side where I'm like, I really need to change 8+ players rather than 6. So I think it could be better used at a later date, which is why I'm kind of whittling that down to transfers. I mean, first impressions for you, Weasel. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great looking team. You've been very unlucky with Star, who would have been a brilliant pick this week. And that you've got DEFCON points covered with your defenders and Addison in midfield and Bruno. So yeah, he made the right decision not to free hit. I think it's just
Yeah, but
unfortunate the two injury problems you got at the moment.
yeah. So I think a lot of the more I've looked at free hits and wild cards, lots of drafts are quite similar to each other anyway. And I've got Sanchez in goal. He's still being picked as a goalkeeper. I've got a Palace defender, like I had from the start. Um, everyone's putting in a Palace defender, free hit or wild card. I've seen Anderson because of his DEFCON monsters. He's been put in a lot of teams. Spurs are defending quite well. The only real sort of defenders that I haven't necessarily got is Senesi of Bournemouth. Um, as Bournemouth have got quite good fixtures, maybe Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool with this week. So, but defensively, I'm quite sound. Not drastically different to uh, people playing chips. People playing chips, a lot will still be picking Salah because he's got Burnley away. Um, some will still pick Bruno because of his avenue to points, different ones. I think the main difference is really, which if I was free hitting a wild card, looking at the starting 11, it's largely the Reinders slot, possibly the Anderson slot, Saar, um, Strand Larson, and depending on the patience with Watkins. If I was free hitting, I'd definitely take out Watkins. Wild carding, I'd probably need to if I was going to go Salah and Haaland. But I'm not. Um, so my thoughts really with the Forest news are I could sell Murillo, who's currently reading out the team. I've got Sanchez in goal away to Brentford, Richards of Palace at home to Sunderland, Anderson of Fulham at home to Leeds, Porro away to West Ham, 3-5-2 midfield, Captain Salah, Reinders at home to Man United, Bruno Fernandes away to Man City, Anderson of Forest away to Arsenal. Just simply, I think he's got a good chance. Hopefully, he'll beat 11 DEFCON in that. I've got Saar of Crystal Palace flagged, Strand Larson of Wolves flagged, and finally Watkins. And on the bench, I've got Dubravka, Chris Wood, Murillo, and then Esteve. So, as saying, I could, depending on the Saar news from the press conference, um, if he's actually available, I'll keep him, and I'd consider either doing just a Strand Larson move or because I've got 2.6 million in the bank, I'd consider either doing just a Strand Larson move, which is probably the more um, not achievable, higher ceiling. That's what I was trying to say. Um, or make the Murillo defensive transfer and play a 4-4-2 or 4-5-1, and even play Wood. Um, what would be your thoughts for transfers? Because I got one free transfer, 2.6 million in the bank.
Um, yeah, Strand Larson probably my transfer if I had your team. That was just spoke for choice for strikers. You could
Just
go.
from
Obviously, Pedro's the informed striker at the moment, but Mateta's got a couple of good fixtures. Could be
mm,
worth a pump. Um, obviously, could go Gokares as well. You can afford, can't you?
no. I think the budget, Strand Larson, I think took a hit, so he's not a drop, so he's 6.4. I've got 2.6, so I might have 9 million exactly, or I might be point 0.1 short, possibly. Um,
Or actually, Turkey could come into play then.
mm, but I don't want to make a transfer with the view that I'll most probably want to change it in 3 weeks' time. because
Yeah,
I because once we've established once Isak's fit enough to start for Liverpool and we've got an idea of how they're playing, I'll be transferring him in. I'll be putting aside all the what I think of him as a person and his behaviour over the last few months. At the end of the day, a fit Isak on form playing in Liverpool is scary and well worth 4 million less than Haaland. Well, 3.5. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
he's on my watch list. That's I can afford him being no Haaland, no Salah, and I've got money in the bank.
So what I'm kind
But
of mini veering towards is I could be. Some may see it as boring or safe or template or however you want to put it. But part of me is thinking, and Weasel and I discussed this before we started recording, is I hadn't looked at my own FPL team for about 10 days. And I had a look at it and I was, again, no idea. Am I going to play a chip? Am I going to use just a free transfer? Am I going to roll? Am I going to wait until after the press um, presses at the end of the week to find out about Saar and Strand Larsen? Just had complete cloud in my head. I actually then went and looked clearly at if I was wildcarding, what would that look like in comparison to this? If I was free hitting, what would it look like in comparison? And then if I kept this and not necessarily rolled, but just saw how my team, the bulk of my team, would look in game week 4, game week 5, game week 6, which is generally seen as a good free hit window because Haaland's got Burnley at home and Liverpool are away. Chelsea, maybe, but they've got a tougher fixture anyway.
Palace
Um,
away.
Palace away, yeah,
Yeah,
which if you don't, yeah, that's why, because Palace are popular, but then they wouldn't want Palace in game week 6. So, and that'll be a close affair, Liverpool and Palace, especially going by the Community Shield. So I'd be inclined, depending on where I'm at with Palace and Liverpool assets, um, where that would put me in game week 6 because I've actually got quite a lot of players that would be playing at home that week. Um, so I'm now actually weighing up using my free hit in game week 7 because the bulk of my squad will be at home in game week. Sorry, will be away. The bulk of my squad will be away in game week 7 and at home in game week 6. I thought likely want to therefore make more changes for game week 7. And I looked that I could make one or even two transfers this week, roll, then make two transfers going into game week 6, which would involve taking out Salah and bringing in Haaland. Um, and that would cover me, and those would be free transfers going into game week 6. Um, and if I do that, it's then thinking, right, whatever changes I make, look at bringing players that are going to be quite popular for those using chips this week, and those using that would free hit in game week 6. So if I can get teams remotely like those without using a chip, then although I might get small reds, um, I could end up potentially by going into slightly different chip strategy more beneficial. Um, yeah, what are your thoughts on that sort of play? Waffle on if that made any sense at all.
uh, yeah, it's a different strategy, and I think you thought it out really well, and your plan is showing. And I think it's a good idea to free hit into 7.
Yeah, which
That
means the big difference is that if Sar if Sar is available for this week, I'll keep him, which then obviously maintains the Palace. I'd still have two Palace. Um, the forward picks, Strand Larsen replacements are basically um, 9 million and below, so I might be able to stretch to to Gyökeres. Otherwise, it's really I've got Wood on the bench. Otherwise, it's really a straight out between João Pedro and Mateta. Um, I think if I was going to free hit in game week 6, I'd go Mateta. I'd bring in Mateta this week. If I choose not to, I'll go with the popular João Pedro, which is boring, but it covers me if he hauls this week. Um, because wildcard people are bringing him in, free hit people are bringing him in. He's already highly owned anyway. So that would be a boring pick. But Chelsea have got an okay fixture in game week 6. And then Saar, if I was going to not roll, if I'm going to use just transfers, so I've got a half decent team um, for game week 6. Who did I think of?
Semenyo.
Yes, that was it. Because I can do Sart and Strand Larson plus my 2.6 in the bank. I could switch to João Pedro and Semenyo, two popular picks, and with increasing ownership, that everyone's getting in, loads of people are getting in, and I'd have 0.2 left in the bank. Um, and they're two highly popular transfers in and existing players. So then my team for this week would be Sanchez in goal, Richards, Anderson, Porro at the back, Salah captain, Reinders, Bruno, Fernandes, Anderson, Semenyo, João Pedro, and Ollie Watkins. That would be my 11 for this week, but it would be a -4
I think it's worth it.
because it's two players that potentially are injured. So it's in that respect, it's only a -2, um, or even
Do you
even
normally
really.
take hits when playing?
Um, well, I don't want to take many hits this season. I took, I think, 3 throughout the whole of last season. Um,
So, oh,
yeah, 3 or 4. I want to try and get less, which means it's a little bit. The alternative is only go with making one of those two changes and playing Wood. But I think getting Semenyo and João Pedro, um, they've both got fixture wise
yeah.
the upside to outscore Wood by 4. It's 1 goal from Semenyo and Wood to blank. That's broken it. Or um, so yeah.
As I said in the previous video, I think Pedro might get double figures this game.
Mm.
No, here's my
Oh yeah,
pick
because
for
they're
double
away to
figures.
Brentford,
Uh-huh.
aren't they?
So
So
that's why I
yeah,
think it's worth taking the -4.
yeah. And then what it would be going into game week 6, it would be Salah and Watkins out, um, with Haaland and someone coming in. Um, and I'd have a
How
lot.
much did you have left?
I'd have quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd have 9 million still, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
nine and a half
that's
actually, wouldn't you? Salah's less than Salah.
yeah,
So yeah,
vaguely.
budget's not a worry.
Yeah, it may have even be the weighing up of um no, but I'd be doing it to get Holland in. So anyway, that's for another day. Um, you're doing your free hit. Um, anybody watching, let us know in the comments below what you think I should do. -4, taking out both supposed injuries. Um, just one free transfer or any of the other options. Um, yeah, please like and subscribe if this is helpful to you, and please be helpful to me. But moving on, we will look at your Weasel's free hit for game week 4. And
Yeah,
yeah,
as I said, Yeah, all international break. I was just planning to do one transfer this week and get a Palace defender in for Dorgu because he didn't play last week for Man United.
Mm,
And then on Tuesday morning when I finished work, I just knee jerked after the reaction from the Forest manager to change. I just suddenly decided to free hit and I've gone for it. I just thought it was too risky. Triple Forest, double Man United, and I've still got Palmer.
mm,
So my team wasn't in great shape, and I'd had to play King, although he's got a good fixture against Leeds, and that my bench should have been the bare minimum. And I just was worried I was going to lose too many points this week to teams around me. So, and it was always in the back of my mind with Forest playing Arsenal this week. It was a good week to free hit. It was Forest's hardest fixture, and
mm.
along with them, but absolutely being absolutely awful against West Ham,
Do you want to read it
that
out?
didn't. Yep, sure. So I'm playing. I've kept my keeper Sanchez away to Brentford. My back three is Anderson from Fulham at home to Leeds. Virgil van Dijk away to Burnley, and Acquire at home to Sunderland. With those back three, I've gone. They could all get DEFCON points. So hopefully do keep a clean sheet. But if they don't keep a clean sheet, hopefully they get the 4 points from DEFCON. And also they're popular picks as well. I'm playing four in the middle, so I've gone for Enzo and Semenyo because they've both started well this season. Um, I've gone captain Salah, which I shouldn't really pick Salah because my team is no Haaland, no Salah. So that might cause a bit of uproar. No one's actually mentioned that amongst the admins yet. That I've snapped Salah in there. But I see I couldn't play Wirtz the way he started, and I could afford him, so I went for him. And I've picked Kudus away to West Ham because he's started the season well. West Ham not great defensively, and I think he'll get an assist or something. And my front three, I've gone for Teke away to Burnley. Obviously, he's going to start instead of Isaac, and brilliant fixture. I've gone Pedro away to Brentford. Obviously, he started brilliantly. He's got a great fixture, and obviously, he's very highly owned. I'm just trying to protect my rank. And my third striker, I've gone for Mateta at home to Sunderland. Obviously, again, a brilliant fixture. So as you can see from my free hit team, I've targeted all the teams that are playing the relegated teams, and
Mm.
also targeting the teams that are playing Brentford and West Ham, who I think could bottom half teams this year. And on my bench, I've got Dubravka at home to Liverpool, Langer at home to Wolves. I've spent a bit more on that just in case the Teke doesn't play or Kudus doesn't play at home to Wolves. I've got Trippier at home to Wolves, and just my placeholder 4 million defenders Ronaldo away to Palace.
You're not tempted to play Alanga in place of Kudus because Alanga's at home.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 shout. And that I don't know if obviously the other man that is his minutes secure
That's
for
well,
Alanga.
um, yeah, he started every game, um, and played most of those. Um, scored for Sweden during the week, and he was actually played in the first game for Sweden. He actually played up front alongside Gyökeres. So depending on how Eddie Howe's perspective and how the take on training and how he does have a tendency to ease new players in, preferring that they get their fitness levels up to the Eddie Howe level of fitness, and familiarize themselves with the systems of play, and patterns of play. Um, I would not rule out the option of Alanga being a false nine and him playing Barnes left and Murphy right.
Uh,
It's a
I was looking
possibility.
at Murphy, but I was worried about his minutes. Obviously,
Um,
Murphy's a lot cheaper.
Um, yeah, he's not an option. He won't be an option. So,
Yeah. I
and to be
really
fair,
wanted
I
to get
think
Simmons.
could it Kudus's actual like scoring output, goal threat hasn't been amazing.
Yeah, I
It's
think
normally
it's
been a little bit of
0.03 or something
assist.
stupid.
Mm. And Alanga has had some big chances so far. So yeah, I'd play him over Kudus to be honest. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
we mentioned earlier about Simmons, who was on my watch list as well.
yeah,
And that, but
we,
obviously he's point 0.5 more and couldn't afford him. So
mm,
that was the other thing I didn't mind was to do Simmons instead of Kudus and get Murphy instead of Belanga and bench Murphy.
mm. It'll be interesting how it plays out with the changes League and
The,
Champions League as to um where where Eddie Howe sees the priority of um Shaw and Byrne because they've been the mainstay centre back pairing. Um, so we'll see where he prioritizes. Does he prioritize those two starting the Champions League matches and perhaps Botman and Tiao playing the league matches? Um, we shall see. But that's from another time. I'm going off the point, off your free hit. Um, yeah, it's good. I think it's quite a safe free hit. Um, as you said, going for those DEFCON monsters at the back. You've got some popular picks in the middle, and the front lines at the moment really is those are three. It's really for me, those three in Haaland are the main forwards you'd be wanting this week. Um,
yeah, it's very boring, but I'm just hoping I don't want to get a red arrow. I need to get a green arrow. So I've had to
mm,
pick popular players, players in form, and I couldn't really chance any risks.
mm,
There could be a few more exciting picks.
yeah, that's
Hopefully
kind
I
of
can get
yeah. Go on.
yeah, hopefully I can get a decent score this week at 70 plus, which hopefully give me a 3 million rank rise.
I'll just go. I'll just go with a. If I'm not using a chip, I'll just go with any sort of green arrow. Um, even just if I manage to make the safety score, to be honest. I think making the safety score after taking a hit is is a decent achievement. So, but we shall see. So that's my transfer plans and transfer thoughts. Weasel's um, free hit. So next slide, how to get in touch. So, how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs at gmail.com. On X, our user handle is at fplaffairs. Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook group for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is / at FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video, or on Spotify you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The classic league code is 12RRCG, or the classic code is lowercase I 6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. So thank you for watching our what feels like 1,000,001th video this week, or at least one of many in the last 2 days or 3 days, how they'll be released. Well, actually 2 days because there'll be a Thursday, Thursday at least one, or Friday, the latter two. But any final thoughts that we haven't actually mentioned yet from you?
No, just good luck, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's season's turned round. No, I think it's just been a very freak start to the season, and hopefully, it'll be back to normal this week.
Yeah, I've got my fingers and toes crossed for back to normal and not the
And we'll
norm.
see you again next week.
Yes, see you again. So all that's left to say is please like and subscribe to this video, our channel, and with the notifications, hit the bell, and it will ring hopefully, or at least contact you when we release something new. So you'll probably get inundated with some in the next 48 to 72 hours. Um, but other than that, thank you very much, Weasel, for your all your inputs and thoughts and opinions in these videos. And yeah, good luck, everybody. Keep your FBL affairs under wraps until Saturday morning's deadline, and then you're free to unwrap them and post them wherever you like, flash them on whatever social media pages. Okay, bye bye, everybody, and good luck with those green arrows. Right, final thoughts of yours going into game week 3.
Yeah, just don't panic, everyone. No, they've just been